I'm at a local park. Just came out here to get a walk. All the rivers are muddy, not fishing today. This is not a fishing video, but it is a video about fishing. I'm gonna run my mouth while I take a walk in the woods. It's the first story time. So how did I get into fly fishing? I grew up in an area where, go back in the mid-late 70s. Place I live, nobody fly fished. I knew nobody that fly fished. No one even knew what it was. I'd been reading Field and Stream, Sports Afield, Outdoor Life, all those old outdoor magazines. I don't know if they still exist anymore, but I've been reading, and I really like the idea of trout fishing with a fly rod, even though I really didn't know what it was. I'd read so much about it. So anyway, it's about 1977-ish. I got a skateboard. Yeah, that's when skateboards really got popular. So I had to get one. Me and my brother got skateboards, and I then proceeded to crack my jaw, concussion on the forehead, lost a lot of skin. I stopped my momentum with my face on pavement. I don't do that. Anyway, so buddy down the street, he wanted a skateboard, and he had a fly rod. I said, all right, let's make a deal. So I ended up with a fly rod. Now check this out. Again, this is late 70s. And again, I knew nothing about the details of fly fishing. I read stories, again, in the magazines, but they didn't go into how to do this, how to do that. So anyway, got this fly rod. It's 8 foot, fiberglass, 8 weight, had a level fly line. That's right, no taper. The fly line was level from start to finish. You talking about horrible casting. It was horrible. I didn't know what a tapered leader was. So I just did like 3 feet of just straight 10-pound test monofilament. First time ever using a selfie stick. Anyway, back to my story. We had recently moved in this neighborhood, and in our backyard was a small creek, and I'm talking, you couldn't jump across it. And it had some fairly deep holes here and there, but you could basically wade up and down it, not thinking about it. And in low water levels, you couldn't float a boat in it. Well, you could, but you'd do a lot of dragging. Anyway, you get the idea. So anyway, we had moved there. I started fishing it with spinning rods and stuff like that. And then I've got that fly rod. Didn't know what, I basically used it as a cane pole. Yeah. Anyway, so I've been using it, can't cast it, still catching fish. Oh, and here's what I did. I decided I was gonna tie my own flies. And I know nothing about tying flies. I don't even know what they should look like, okay? Except for pictures in magazines. So anyway, decided to tie one myself. So I got mom's sewing thread. Cut some hair off my brother's cat. It's a Siamese Persian mix. It's a beautiful, beautiful hair. And so, holding the hook in these fingers, I proceeded to tie my first fly ever. Gotta understand, I'm 11 or something like that, 12. I tie my first fly. It looks horrible. I had seen all these flies in magazines and stuff where it had a head like a cork head, like a popper, but I didn't know what that was. And so I took electrician's tape, built up a head, painted it to make it look like some flies I'd seen in the magazines. Proceeded to go in the backyard, get in the river or the creek, and Went to this bend in the river. By the way, here's one of the reasons I have not been fishing all that much. It's just freaking mud. Anyway. And I've had some, thank you. So we did that. I mean, I did that. I've got this bend in the river. Cast a fly in there. It sinks. It goes down. I start swinging it across. Have no clue what I'm doing. I catch an 8-inch largemouth bass. That was it. Well, I was hooked for life. I caught that thing. I was so proud. Wish I'd had a GoPro back then. So years go by. I'm like 14. As soon as high school, I was a freshman. So me and my buddy, we raided his father's liquor cabinet, beer cabinet, and we took my older brother, who has a YouTube channel, but I'm not going to that. And we took him out. We all got smashed. I got smashed like really bad. And so we went to this grocery store, and I'm sitting there looking at magazines. And the angel sang. And I'm not proud of this. I'm not proud of this at all. I saw this magazine, and it was Scientific Anglers Learn to Fly Fish. And it's like Chico Fernandez, Lefty Cray, written all these articles. I think Flip Pallet wrote an article in there. You know, the greats, you know. And so I saw that and I was like, oh, but I didn't have any money. I didn't have any money. So again, I'm not proud of this. I stuffed it down my waistband, walked out of there, got home. Mom and Dad found out that I was smashed. Threw my brother against the wall. My dad grabbed my brother, threw him against the wall, and said, why in the world did you get your brother drunk? And I'm sitting over there smashed, and I go, Dad, cool. No, me and Jurgen, we got Donnie drunk. I think that saved my brother's life. But anyway, so I got that magazine. I learned what a tapered leader was. What is backing? I had no clue what backing was. So I get it together. And then, of course, being 14, I quit fishing much. I was drinking beer and chasing women. That's basically what I did in my teenage years. And again, I'm not proud of any of this, but years later, about 19, I said, you know what, it's time to go fly fishing. So I went and bought a graphite rod, okay, with a weight forward line, put backing on the reel, okay, had a proper setup, and I proceeded to go fly fish. That's how I started, literally from nothing. It's been fun. It's been great. You know, I can remember. You know, big thing was trout. You know, I spent 15 years just trout. I would go bass fishing just to humor buddies who wanted to go bass fishing, and because I liked them, they were buddies. I'd go bass fishing with them. But all I wanted to do was clear water. The opposite of that. Clear water, trout. Always huge on clear water. And so I picked it back up, and I can remember one time I was on a certain river in North Carolina, and I was trying everything. I was trying this fly, that fly. Nothing was happening. Nothing was happening. And I can remember I almost took the rod and broke it over my knee and said, screw this, I ain't doing it. But yeah, I gotta watch where I'm going. That would make a good video, me slipping and falling in the river. Well, it'd make a good video for you guys, not me. But so anyway, on this river, it's perfect. It's one of my favorite, still to this day, one of my favorite rivers. I'm catching nothing. I'm out to break the rod, and I said, okay. So I'm standing on this rock. I'm standing behind this big rock. There's a nice looking pool in front of me. There's a side pool, a nothing pool. You know, it's one of those things you would ignore. And I just whipped the line over there to straighten something out. I did that. When I went to gather my line up for the cast, there's a 16-inch brown trout on the end of it. I was flabbergasted. That was the coolest thing ever. It was nice. It was to get 16-inch brown trout. I'd caught trout before on spinning gear. This thing was the first one I ever caught on the fly rod. And that was it, man. It's like an 8-inch largemouth bass. Man, I was hooked. I was hooked. That's what I did. And I basically just went trout fishing for a long time. Then about 2007, I had gone back to school, which means I did 5 years no fishing basically. I got out of school making better money. And I said, you know what? It's time to go fishing, but I want to go bass fishing. I've caught, there's streams I could name the trout. And so about 2007, bought a solo canoe. Found some dudes on the internet that like to do the same thing. And that's what we did. Float smallmouth rivers, largemouth rivers. Catch largemouth and smallmouth, occasional striper. And that's basically what I do now. Unless the rivers are high and muddy, then I go trout fishing, which is always great. So anyway, that wraps up story time. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Yeah, excuse the heavy breathing, I'm going uphill. And I'm out of shape. Hard to stay in shape when what you do for a living is pushing ones and zeros around a computer screen. I'm a computer programmer. So anyway, thanks for coming, thanks for watching, hope you enjoy it. Like, subscribe, all that. Hopefully, see you on the water one day.